So, good morning, guys. Give me a hug. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. About to run, getting 5K ready. Get out there, guys. Just do what you can. 5. We work in 5s here. We work for a 5K. We start by running 5 minutes. We save $5 this week. We go and get 5 cans. That's the focus of this channel, and I thank you for being here. Are you doing okay? Did you see my buddies over here real quick? I pulled up here in the shade, and I had 2 deer standing right there. They were like, "What you doing? Did you have your coffee? You seem a little amped up, Patara." Yep, she's had her coffee. Yeah, I think she did have some coffee today. She's a little, yeah, I know. They're like, "We'll see you later." And they just sort of walked away. My baby's over here. They're so funny. I love them all. We've got a lot of really sweet things on this property. We're very blessed. But listen, you're the sweetest thing, and I want to thank you for being here. Let's have a hard conversation today. We need to. We got to keep slinging that while everybody else is throwing out lie after lie and panic after panic. We're going to throw truth, and we're throwing truth and reason. Let's do it. You ready? Give me a fist bump. Let's go. Real quick, in response to my video last night that I put up at Costco, which that video was filmed at Costco yesterday, somebody was like, that greenhouse is probably still not that. No, everything you saw was from yesterday. You can get in your car and go to Costco Knoxville, and you're going to see the same things, most likely, unless they're changing their displays this morning. You're going to see the same thing that you saw in those clips from yesterday afternoon. I didn't film that footage a year ago. That is from yesterday. That's why I put the date on the video. And I was at Costco only yesterday. So here's the deal. So I'm responding to a couple of things. If you listened up to 6 minutes and 30 seconds, I do actually tell you that I have no idea if we're going to have empty shelves. And I told you that I wasn't, could there be panic and empty shelves in a month? I think I said 30 days. Yeah, you could. You could. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Let me just I'm going to say something very blunt here. What are we supposed to do? Just sit here and cry about it and pee our pants? No, you're not, and I'm not, and because we're already prepared. Like I said in the video, the people at Costco yesterday, it could be normalcy bias. They don't have a clue what's going on. The majority of the population doesn't. And so therefore they're persuaded by propaganda and lies because they're not doing their due diligence of keeping up with what's actually happening. Because if they were, most of them probably have been at least for the last 5 years. I mean, if you didn't wake up in 2020, I don't know what to say to you anymore. If you didn't kind of figure out we got a problem after 2020, then, yeah, you're late. That's a problem, and we're going to try to see you through it. But that's the fact of the matter. Most people that are sitting here listening to this video have understood we have problems at least for the last 4 to 5 years, no matter who they voted for. At least if you're a decent person and you try to deal with truth. If you're just saying it's only if you sit here and say we only have problems now because of January 20th and after, you are in la land. We need some serious therapy. I don't know what type of therapy, but we need it because that's not true. We've been in a world of hurt for many years. Many years. It depends upon how far back you want to go. I mean, some people can sit here and go, we've had problems since 1861. I mean, we can do it how you want to do it, baby. We can do it. But here's the thing. Don't panic. Could there be empty shelves, higher prices, and things that happen? You should have already been anticipating that. And in fact, you should have been anticipating that regardless of who took over after January 20th. You should have figured that out at least by 2021. Because if you didn't, we've got all kinds of inflation reports, and I know you see it. But you younger folks out there, let me tell you something right now. I don't know what younger means anymore. But folks that are, I'm going to say in their 20s and 30s, you're going to be working your butt off. If you are a teenager going into trying to make a career decision, just go ahead and say, I'm going to have to work my butt off, and I'm going to have to sacrifice. And people will say, how do you get to the point where you're debt free? How do you get to the point where you've paid your house off? How do you? For most people, it took a lifetime, an entire generation, basically. I can tell you that with us. And that doesn't mean something could happen and it could totally turn our world upside down. I anticipate that. See, it's called being proactive, not reactive. I walk around in blue jeans with holes literally everywhere. In fact, I'm to the point now, I'm going to have to make a decision to put a patch in certain places. Can I afford a pair of blue jeans today? Yeah. I'm not going to go buy a $100 pair of blue jeans. No, I'm not going to do that. And the ones that I would pay for are much more expensive than they were, say, 3 years ago. In fact, here's the deal, though. When inflation started hitting back in 2021 into 2022, I made a point to buy several pairs of blue jeans that are still in the wrap that are sitting in my closet. They're probably $20 cheaper today then than they were today even. Did I need them? No. But I had a little extra spending money, and every time I have a little extra spending money, I'm always thinking of preps, from food to my animals to clothing to my pantry to things for my cars, things that I need done on certain things of my house. If I'm not doing that, then I'm trying to tuck things away because I anticipate, these blue jeans. This is the second pair. I've got 2 pair here. I anticipate that I'm going to need a pair of blue jeans at some point in my life. So when I could get them fairly cheap on sale, I bought them and I put them away. But you know what? They're still sitting there put away because I'm going to wear these puppies out. And I'm going to mend these, and then I'm going to continue to still wear these puppies out. And then when I absolutely can't do it anymore, I'm going to figure out, like my granny would have, you know what? That's denim. And there's some parts of this that's still in really good condition. Maybe I should cut that and save that for something else. That's what your granny did. This is why your granny most likely didn't have debt. Because when they got married, they worked one way or another. They worked with whether they were on the job, whether they were on the farm, or whether they were raising the kids, and they were always trying to think ahead. That has not been passed down very well to most generations, even in mine. When we became almost fully debt-free from 2007 and 2000, everything but the house from 2007 to 2008, because of the Great Awakening that my family, that I had, it was me, and my husband looked at me and said, then we're going to, with the anxiety attack that I had, if you know our history, February 14th, 2007, I decided we had to change. I was going to lose it. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I knew that if one of us lost our job, I said, if one of us loses our jobs, we're going to be bankrupt. That was in February of 2007. We sold everything. And I felt embarrassed because we were so strict on our budget. And I didn't drive a new Yukon. I didn't have the cute running clothes. I didn't have a Louis Vuitton. I was so embarrassed of the debt that we were in to achieve that lifestyle, which I realized I could never achieve without being in debt. So I bit the bullet, and it was hard. And we sold everything. We did. Everything we could, including the house. And we moved, and we downsized, and we paid off everything, including our school loans. We paid off everything ourselves. And we bought a smaller home, very used home, did some upgrades over the years, and I was able to stay home with my kids. And the only reason I did that is because I was willing to live like, as Dave Ramsey tells you, I was willing to live like no one else. While other women my age were driving around in brand new Yukons and buying Dooney and Burke and going to the beach and doing all these things. And I didn't feel bad for them because that's what they were doing. I felt bad for me because I was like, this is really hard right now. But I want to be home with my babies, and I want to change my lifestyle. And in order for me, sniff, to do that, I have to give a lot of things up. And I trained myself to be like this. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. I have clothing that's 40 years old that I'm still wearing. And because I did this, because a lot of you did that, you are now living like no one else today. So you young people out there, when you look at people and you go, how did they do it? They gave up just about everything to get there. And you're going to have to give up everything too. And I hate to tell you, I say this to my own children today. They're 20, 22, and 25. You're not going to have it even like I did. I'm sorry to tell you. Your father and I are trying our best as your parents to not allow anybody close to us that we would be expected to help, which we're not. What'd you say, Mom? No, if you take on debt, I'm not paying for it. I'm not sinking the ship because you make a stupid decision because you weren't raised to be that way. So if you do it, you better know what you're doing. I say that every day. I say it every day. And the young people of this country haven't been told that. They've been given everything. We're guilty of that still to a point too. I mean, I could sit here and go, I shouldn't have done this. Don't go back. It is what it is. Change it today. The reason I have these blue jeans up here is because my husband literally brought me to tears. And what I mean by that is, you get some really hateful feelings from people even and I don't want you to go through this, but I want you to be proud, and I'm proud, and I love him so much for saying this. We were getting ready, and I was telling him about something really ugly that had been said to me about how, well, you're debt free, so what do you care? And it hurt I'm gonna be honest with you, this person hurt my feelings. It did. I allowed it to hurt my feelings. And so I was expressing it to him, and he looked at me and he said, do you want to know why you're in the position that you're in? And I just looked at him, and he said, I was getting ready and I had these blue jeans on. This was just like 2 to 3 weeks ago. He said, the reason you have accomplished the things that you've accomplished and we've accomplished together is because you're walking around in blue jeans like that. See, my husband gets on to me about stuff like this, not because he gets upset. And I've said this before. He's like, why are you wearing socks with holes in them? Baby, we can at least, he's so good. He's like, please let me buy you some socks, because see, I don't let him buy me stuff. I really don't. He's like, I'm not, because he knows if he goes and buys me, I'm going to go, I want the gift. I love it. I'm going to take it. But he knows that I'm going to go through that. So it's a thing now. He's like, Patara will have a hole in her clothes. I guarantee it. In fact, I laughed because I've got my running clothes on today that I bought from Walmart like 3-4 years back in 2021. And they got holes in them. So I'm not bragging about myself. I'm going to tell you how my husband told me, you've done what you've done because you've worked your butt off and you've walked around in this society for years like this because you're going to wear it out. You're going to make do. You're going to make it happen. You're not wearing the new jeans that you put away. The new jeans that you have in the closet are for crisis. I'm always in crisis mode. I'm not panicking, but I'm always in crisis mode. And the people here that are doing all of this, which is the majority of you, you're not panicking, but you're in crisis mode all the time because you know how life is, and our children don't understand it. So young people out there, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to work your butt off for 20 to 30 years in most cases. Not all, but in most. And that is okay. You're going to have to work 2 to 3 jobs. You're going to have to work overnights. Because not only do you have the situation which a lot of us faced, which was the basic fundamentals of life, of you're young and stupid and you get married and you make bad decisions and you learn from them and most people try to pull out of it. Most do. A lot don't. I know people my age that I would look at 10, 20 years ago and I thought they had everything. No. They are almost bankrupt. And at the time, I thought they had everything. As I was walking around, well, at the time, these jeans might have been newer, but you understand what I'm saying. I couldn't afford to go to Shoney's, and I wouldn't allow myself to go to Shoney's. But they're walking around, they're going to Panama City and Disney cruises and wearing new clothes and Louis Vuittons. That's the way a lot of society is. And the bad thing is that all of this has been put onto social media. So they think that's the norm. No, it's called the wrong things to do. You've got to bite the bullet. You've got to wear the same blue jeans, 2 or 3 pair for 20 years in a row, 10 years in a row. Go without going to the beach. Why do you feel you deserve it? You don't. We don't deserve it. And some people are going to think, this is so gross, this is so negative, she's so dramatic. Maybe some of that. Dramatic, yes, but it takes drama to get these kids' attention. If you want to live like no one else, Dave Ramsey has really got it right. If you want to live like no one else someday, you're going to have to live like no one else. Now, yeah, I know somebody's going to joke and say, I see kids all the time with their butts hanging out like that. You know what I'm saying. My butt's not hanging out, though. That's why my t-shirts are so long. I wear t-shirts that are a little more fitted because they'll stay a little snug down there around the hip. Yeah, the mama hips. And they'll cover up. I know. And somebody's going to say, you could kind of, I know, I need to mend that. This would be a good project. How would Patara sew her jeans together? Woo, you talk about looking like a scarecrow, honey. Woo! So here's what I'm saying. Young people, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've been lied to. I'm sorry I was lied to also. Times were different, and so we could pull ourselves out a little bit quicker. Do the very best that you can today. Okay? Please don't panic. Please don't panic. I can't turn the light switch on for people. I can't switch people's minds. I can't do that. I can pray for it. And I pray that this happens to you. That when you finally look around, this is what happened to me. I stepped out on my back porch after getting out of debt, and I looked around and I said, I can't feed myself. I grew up learning things, but I haven't implemented them, and I couldn't feed myself today. All I've got is crepe myrtle on my little patio. So the first step is to realizing you need to be as debt-free as possible. It doesn't matter what the world does. It doesn't matter what the stock market does. It doesn't matter what your mama did or did not do. It does not matter. You have to break the cycles and decide what you're going to be. And to get to where you want to go, 9 times out of 10, 99%, even if you're going to have to be 99% of the time, you're going to have to be physically present. And you're going to have to physically put in a lot of labor. I tell my boys this every single day. And I'm trying to, really honestly encourage them. Yes, I want them to be educated, but you have to be debt-free. You got to be debt-free. You have got to be debt-free as possible. And you have to realize that you're going to have to work once you're done. Because at this point, it's unaffordable for most people to do the things that your father and I did 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It is. And guys, this is not something new. I'm not taking up for anybody. I'm telling you, this was before January 20th. Where was the panic with all the inflation in 21, 22, and 23? The people that are pushing you to panic today, were they telling you to be concerned 3 and 4 years ago? When you were being used as a guinea pig? You were. You were. When you were lied to about the economy, you're still being lied to. When you were being lied to about inflation, when you were being lied to about student loans, they were going to take that problem away from you. Liars. Are you mad about that? Aren't you mad? Are you going to go protest against the former administration for lying to you? Because they lied to you. It was a gimmick. It was a lie. Sorry to tell you, it's true. We're all in this together. See, this is the bottom line. No matter how this shapes up, no matter who you voted for, the bottom line is we're all in this together. And some of us, fortunately, some of us are still willing to work with everybody as long as there's a minimal level of respect. But I think that's quickly going away, unfortunately. So what do? I put my head down and I push forward. Mama Lou right now is texting me, and I can kind of see, or messaging me. I can see her message. That woman is a full-blood Cherokee Indian, and a lot of people talk about the benefits that Indians have. And she'll sit there and look at you and go, nobody paid for my nursing school. She's an RN. She said, you know what I did? You know what she did in her early 40s to finish going to nursing school because she had to pay for it? She paid for it. She chopped wood. She did. She chopped and sold wood, firewood, to pay for her schooling. Those are the people that have influenced people like me and people like people here. And you have to know that existed. And you have to know that still exists some to a point. Because see, when you're sitting here and we're doing this all day and we're looking at, and I see it too. I go on Instagram and I see these women and they're beautiful. I'm not jealous of them. I'm not. I love it. I hope they're debt free. My only concern is that I hope they're debt free. You see all these influencers. God love their hearts. I'm praying for them and I have no beef. And I've learned a lot of good things from different influencers. And they are literally sitting in these $500,000 homes in these kitchens. And they're out buying Yukons today. I can't imagine being 25 years old, going out. Now, unless they got an inheritance and unless they made $5 million last year or $1 million last year and they're debt free, that's fine. That's cool. But what I'm telling you is most of the things that you're seeing online with influencers and YouTubers and different things with farm equipment, unless they're doing it for tax write-offs, unless they're already massively established and they're using it as a tax write-off. That may be smart. But a lot of people, the majority that you see doing things, making videos, a lot of them, not all, I can't say it's all, but I will say I do feel it's a lot of them, they are probably eaten up in so much debt, they're drowning. They would be drowning. In an economic true downturn that could affect them, they're bankrupt. I don't know how they're going to get out of it. Not jealous, telling you the truth of what I actually think. Because I know how much it costs to do some of this. This is why sometimes I'm like, I'm not taking you in my kitchen because it's real. And I have my wallpaper is starting to peel down and I have dust here. And no, I got chips in my paint on my cabinets. And, you know, it kind of makes us feel, it would make somebody like me feel inferior, right? Make you feel inferior? Nope. I'm okay with it. Because I own it. Just like I own these holier than thou blue jeans. See it? These are more comfortable than the other pair. So younger folks, my message to you is, I'm sorry. Please understand that things are going to get very hard. And I'm sorry this has been passed to you. But the bottom line is you still have control to do something about it. Absolutely, you can. And the folks that are here watching this channel and that comment down below, most of them are going to be your parents or older in terms of age. We've already been through a lot of this in some form or fashion, and we want to help you. But you have to be willing to listen. There's that listening thing again. You have to be willing to listen, and you're not going to like it. None of us like that advice. None of us liked the advice of our parents and grandparents. But when we got 30 years old and we were eating up in debt and had 2 babies on our hips, we realized Granny was right. Fact of the matter. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. Thank you for letting me be emotional this morning. Thank you for letting me talk things out. Thank you for being here all of these years. I want you to know that you've blessed me 10 times more than I could ever bless you. But I do hope at times that our discussions or the things that we've taught here on this channel or the things that we do keep you grounded, keep you focused, help you vent a little bit with me. So if you need things today in your pantry or an extra bag of cat food, yeah, I'm encouraging you to go get it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know you need to be prepared. And that's always the focus. We have to work hard, be smart with our money, and be prepared. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today. I think I hear a siren. Somebody's in trouble. We're going to pray for that right now. Love you guys. Amen.